You're now listening to No Gimmicks.
No Gimmicks Podcast, and we bring it to you. Every time we turn live, and you know it's the truth. Every after show, moving down, this the time to move around. No Gimmicks Podcast is going down. Every night, every time in the ring. This is the time for the No Gimmicks, know we doing our thing. What's your state of mind? State of mind. Moving down a statement when we take the line. This is exactly wrestling the state design. When you see Stone Cold like me, with the stunner in the world, exactly, man, what we bring. Every night we move like Brock Lesnar, the F5, no gimmicks. We take you to your limit, what's the feeling? When we live in the air, you know we on, it's the time. Guarantee we move, you know how we respond. The state design when we feel it. Moving down, what's the healing? You know, gimmicks is the feeling.
Surprise, MPX addicts. Guess who's back? We are here on the DFPN. The No Gimmicks Podcast is back on a Thursday night as MPX gets ready to shift its focus back to Saturday. So happy February. Happy Texas Rumble week. Last time No Gimmicks was here, we had a few guests join the show to help break everything down. And tonight is no different because the Texas Rumble is so massive. We've got so much to cover. I had to call in some reinforcements, so we'll start with the introductions. You guys know him. You guys love him. You hear his voice every time he's at MPX. Ladies and gentlemen, the choice, Matt Andrews. Matt, welcome back.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. And nobody is more happy to see February come than I am. I know I only got to do one show with MPX over the course of January, and as much fun as it was to have AEW and ROH in our fair city for the entire month of January, ain't nothing like a Saturday night with Metroplex Wrestling.
That is true. And shout out to AEW and ROH. Speaking of ROH, you guys may be watching MPX and ROH Presents Global Wars happening tonight on Honor Club. Make sure you check that out because you're going to want to see all of the action that MPX and Ring of Honor put on together. But before we dive into all that good news, we've got another guest on the show, MPX Addicts. We told you here at No Gimmicks, we're going to help get to the bottom of things. And there's been a lot of things to get to the bottom of. So I reached out, I put out a favor. The call was accepted. Actually, the call was demanded. Referee Evan Treadway is here. Evan, how's it going?
I'm doing good. My throat feels better after that damn choke, so it feels good though.
The elephant in the room, we're going to get there. We're going to address it. And that's what happened last week at MPX Factor. But before we get there, let's talk about some of those matches from X Factor because my personal favorite was that Tag Team Open Challenge. Luke Cameron, Mo Kelly came out. They put a call out to anybody that wanted to accept it. And sure enough, Von Titan and a debuting Prince Kiriuki answered that call. Evan, you were there witnessing that unfold. What were your thoughts about that?
I was surprised that it was those two, but I'm very happy that Von Titan accepted the challenge because he is the biggest person I have ever seen besides Demo, and he does scare me too because he's big. How can you blame that? I wanted him to win, but he didn't, and I didn't know the new person. All I care about was Von Titan, so.
Well, you're not supposed to want anybody to win. You're a referee, Evan. You got to maintain your impartiality right there. JJ, I gotta tell you, I wasn't necessarily surprised that Titan answered the call. I'm surprised that he ended up teaming with Kiriuki there. That's a team that kind of came out of nowhere for me, right? And you don't think that Von Titan's the kind of guy that would need friends. He seems like a nice enough fellow, and certainly in his debut, definitely put out that very affable nature. But for him to already have found a tag team partner that he seemed to mesh really well with, that was a great surprise. And glad that Titan is already starting to get some reinforcements because if he's going to start getting into the ranks like that, then he's going to need some backup and he's going to need some friends on that side of the ring.
Right. And speaking of friends, because like we talked about it last week, for those that are unofficial and unfamiliar with Paradigm, Lou Cameron and Mo Kelly are not guys you want to mess around with because, you mess around, you're going to find out. And sure enough, Von Titan and Prince Karaoke, for what it's worth, they did hold their own. But at the end of the day, it all remains the same. It's Paradigm and Five.
Yeah. Well, you give the experience or you give the edge to the experienced tag team in there. And, yeah, like you said, people might not know that Lou Cameron and Mo Kelly have been around, but they have teamed all over South Texas. They are almost a household name down there in terms of Paradigm, along with somebody else that was on the card, Ethan Hunter. They are all buddy buddy in there. So very interesting to see those two now start to form a tag team and come up north a little bit.
Yes, and speaking of Buddy Buddy, one of the other things to take away from X Factor before we get to the elephant in the room, we gotta build on it on this show, Evan. We're gonna get there, I promise. But before we do, the main event was supposed to see world class Dave DeVille and Devin Anello teaming with America's Sweetheart Shay Carmichael to take on Billy Starks, our forever ROH Women's Champion, and Minion Overlord Athena and one Matthew Palmer. But Matthew Palmer broke a rib cage coming out for his entrance, and he didn't disappoint when he said he had a replacement because cue the drums. Rumble, bad man, rumble. Shane Taylor answered the call. What are y'all thoughts on that team alone?
Evan, go ahead.
All right, all right. I was surprised Shane Taylor came out. I was very, what's the word? I guess surprised,
Impartial.
honestly. Yeah, impartial. Well, him coming out gave the whole crowd a very pop because everybody, even I thought Matthew was going to wrestle, but he didn't, which I was disappointed. But Shane Taylor helped out with the Forever Goddess Athena and Billy Starks too. So he helped them get a win. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and address this part of it. I love Palmer to death. He obviously got me my way back in to being a ring announcer at MPX, and I'm forever grateful for that. But you guys saw the minute that match was announced, Palmer was already like, "Wait, who booked me in this?" So look, I'm not saying that maybe that was a quote unquote broken rib cage, but I'm just pulling it out there that it might have been a quote unquote broken rib cage, with some plans already for Shane Taylor to be there. And you know what? It ended up working all right for the household Palmer over there. So, all good there. And of course, it's the week before the Rumble, which is usually when I guess that is now usually when the big stuff starts happening, right?
Yeah.
Stepping back to last year with Nick Nemeth coming through the week before the Rumble. So this didn't disappoint.
Yeah, and you touched on Nick Nimitz, at this time last year, and that's actually how me and Kelvin, the originator of No Gimmicks, and I believe he's going to join us here in a little bit. But if he's not, Kelvin, you feel free to pop in the chat. I'm going to hold it down for you until you're back, as always. Matt's here with me. We're going to keep everything flowing like normal until you're ready to come back. And, me and Kelvin met at that show last year. I think was it Last Call was the name of the show?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
yeah,
Last fall.
the Scorn was beating down Tommy Dreamer, Tommy Becker at that
Yep.
time, and Matthew Palmer. And when Nick Nimitz came out, I remember looking at him, and he looked at me, and we were like, "Holy shit! It's the Texas Rumble! Like this is what we've signed up for." And last year didn't disappoint. So for this year, to see Shane Taylor, to see Diamante come out for just a few seconds at the end of the night, kind of leaves us to wondering what other surprises are in store for us this Saturday, February 7th at the Texas Rumble. But guys, we've skipped on it enough. It's time to dive in a little bit. And before we do, shout out to Nightmares and Nerdscapes in the chat. Breaking the entire cage is damn impressive, to be honest. Yes, seeing some crazier things in wrestling, that's up there. at the top of the list. And shout out to Laura Pulver in the chat as well. But last week at X Factor, there was some shady stuff. Let me choose my words carefully because I'm trying to be impartial here. I'm on both sides. Um, there was some impartiality going on. There was some trickery going on. Um, Kennedy, being the wonderful jack of all trades that she is, did some investigative work during the show. And backstage, she caught some interactions between one referee, Evan, and the Agtown ace, Alec Bullsdale, leading up to the finals of the Mr. MPX tournament, which, if you watch that match, we saw Alec Bullsdale win the Mr. MPX finals, only for referee Cedric to come out, let everybody know that that's not how this is going down, proceeded to choke out Evan on his birthday, and then restart the match where the everlasting legacy Isaiah Legend won and is your official Mr. MPX 2026. So the first question I've got, Evan, how are you feeling? How's the neck? Are you okay?
I'm good. I didn't get eat enough cake because of that, which I'm really upset. But honestly, I don't know why Cedric would do that. I looked up for him. I always liked him. He inspired me to be a referee, and it was my birthday, and I had to I had to make more money, so you can't blame me for that. Honestly, I I drive for a far away. Getting choked out was really the worst thing ever. Worst birthday gift I ever get. So
You know, and it's funny that you said that because I ever since this whole thing has started with the referees, everybody in the MPX addicts has been asking the question, what is going on? What is happening? We haven't seen Travis Trueborn in quite some time. And Travis was the one that spearheaded this initiative. You guys were a unit. We had the matching sunglasses, the aura, like everything was together. And then Sky came into the mix and it seemed like the officials were untouchable. But now it seems like Jamie Aller has been in Cedric's ear. It seems like Cedric has seen the light a little bit, even though some of the other referees you could argue are still trying to figure it out. I don't know. Um, you know what? I'm gonna stop. Matt, what's your takeaway on all this?
Well, look, it guys. Cedric is a different breed. Cedric is the kind of hard nosed, old school kind of ref that understands that things happen in the line of work. And yes, while what happened between him and Brick Savage was certainly uncalled for, and Brick never should have laid hands on Cedric, um, understandably, Cedric was upset about that. But eventually, you got to know that Cedric, like I said, an old school kind of guy, realizes that there are certain things and certain hazards that come along with the job responsibility of being a referee. And at some point, you just got to shut up and go to work. And his job and the referee's job, Evan, is to call things right down the middle.
Evan, comments?
He knows I got him.
maybe who knows? But well, we're the referees. We're the third person. But at this time, everybody has been putting hands on the referees. For one, that's really wrong. Two, we make the decision. Alex should have won, and he should have kept the win. He should not. It should not been Legend winning, honestly. Which I prefer him than Dalton because me and him have some issues now because of
Oh,
yeah. But it was my birthday too. I don't know why Cedric did that. Because if he wants to go on the good side referee, I don't care. All I care about is me being safe. And I'm so glad Sky helped me out because Man has been pissing me off lately.
so are you saying you're a bad guy referee? Is that what I heard? JJ, did you hear that? Is that
I'm not gonna say I heard it, but it sounds like if we're picking sides, it sounds like Cedric is in a league of his own because Travis is MIA, and all the other referees seem to be aligned with Sky.
guy has our back, so I'm gonna be on his side.
I,
I have
I
to be. I mean, I'm just gonna say, I'm glad that Man is not in the chat tonight because I feel like with the stray that was just thrown at Man probably would have just jumped in this call. But you know what? It's fine. It's okay. Everybody is gonna calm down. We're gonna woosah. We're gonna come back together because that's what families do. We all fight after, a while or two or whatever it is. Oh, but guys, the final thing I want to take away because we bought up Sky and we bought up we saw them finally have their one-on-one match at X Factor. It was a jailhouse match. Everybody was hoping that we were gonna get a decisive winner, but I still call tomfoolery because before the match even started, Jamie Aller had to be handcuffed to the ring post, and then I don't know the other official's name, so please forgive me, but as the calls are going on throughout the match for Sky, one, two. But then when Man goes for a cover, one, oh, my shoulder. Two, oh, man, my shoulder. Oh.
Well, look at JJ. Look,
My,
a jailhouse match is a very dangerous atmosphere. And in the line of work, sometimes, like we just said, things happen. Who knows? Could have been a pulled shoulder, could have been anything like that. But the results stayed the same, and we are going to get, it seems like we are going to get a finality to all of this Saturday, when it seems to be full circle and the world breaker Brick Savage comes out for Sky to La Cremosa.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that's happening this Saturday at the Texas Rumble. But before we get to the Rumble, guys, we have one other large elephant in the room to talk about, and that is MPX and ROH Global Wars. And as a fan being there live to witness it happen, Evan, you were also there live to witness it happen. The first thing I want to say to the MPX addicts as a whole, shout out to you guys because everybody that was in attendance at the esports arena for that. I mean, that was a huge moment. You saw the MPX signs, you heard the chants all night long for the MPX faithful. Ernie Pruitt is over there, Papa Ernie, just full smile from ear to ear. Evan, what was your thoughts and takeaways on Global Wars, witnessing it as it happened?
there was really, really great to see, honestly, because all those wrestlers who've been training, building up to this moment, it was really great to see, except for them losing, honestly, because they should have had an MPX referee to make it fair. So I'm just being honest.
Hey, this show is 100% honesty, so it's not hurting anybody's feelings at all. I love it. And Matt, I mean, you've been working with MPX and wrestling as a whole for a while now. What are your thoughts and takeaways on what you've witnessed with the MPX and Ring of Honor collaboration?
I'm going to echo the words of one person who might not be friends with you guys on Facebook or whatnot, but his name is Matt Schlein. He went by the name Kyle Vallow back in the day, and he is one of the co-founders of Metroplex Wrestling. And I joined up with Metroplex Wrestling probably about 2.5 weeks after they started training people in Stephen Kirby's backyard. And so for somebody like me to see a company like MPX, to see those colors, the black and the purple, and that logo go up, and thinking about where we were and training in Kirby's backyard, enduring chop lines and bump lines in the rain and the cold, moving that ring inside of the original Metroflex gym in Fort Worth, and then moving it to the ridiculously hot gym that was Metroflex Mid Cities, just to see how 16 years of Metroplex Wrestling has come to where it is now and being put alongside Ring of Honor and advertised so heavily today. The names of Metroplex Wrestling and the stars in MPX were on the tongues of everybody in the indie wrestling world today. And that just, there's no words to describe just how much that means to me as somebody who essentially was here with the company since it started.
No, I absolutely love it. And I actually want to piggyback on what you just said, Matt, because as I, mentioned with Evan, we were there live to witness it all unfold. And I remember, when getting to the venue and as the tapings were, about to happen and everything was going on, of course, you've got your diehards that are there for the AEW collision. That's what they're there for, right? But as the ring is getting set up and as you see the black and red ROH, you see the purple and black MPX, there was kind of like this sense of, what's happening? Who is this? Who is that? And being where I was sitting, a lot of people were like, MPX, who is that? What are they? So being able to kind of share, like, what is MPX? This is MPX, a weekly running indie company here in Bedford, Texas, right in the heart of the DFW. These are some of the stars that have been with the company, Demo Diamond, Kari Wright, LVJ, Maya World, Hyon, et cetera, et cetera. And then as they came out to do their thing, seeing people go, oh, ah, okay, like now people are starting to buy in because MPX is like the best kept secret, even though we have a loyal following. So again, shout out to all the MPX addicts. Shout out to the talent, the crew, the Palmers, the Pruitts, everybody behind the scenes for what you guys do. Because without anybody working together as a team, none of this is possible. And if you haven't, make sure you check out Honor Club from start to finish to witness everything. You're going to want to do that before you get to the Texas Rumble this weekend because that's why we're here. So, guys, are y'all ready to dive in and cover what's happening this week at the Texas Rumble?
Absolutely. We got to get into it.
All right, guys, here we go. Let's get into it. All right. So before we dive too deep into the Texas Rumble, we are having a special guest join us in a matter of moments. So I can't wait for them to come in to give us their thoughts and their feedback and what they're looking forward to for the Texas Rumble. But let's start small. That's kind of a bad word to use because when you look at this card, the entire night is stacked. So
There's no small matches.
there's no such thing as a small match, but let's start with the first match that was announced outside of the Texas Rumble. MPX Women's Championship. Abaddon defends their title against Nikki Blackheart. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get everyone's opinion and thoughts on that, please help me welcome back finally after I don't know how long it's been. Ladies and gentlemen, he's back. Kelvin Kaylee, what's good?
What's up, guys? What's up?
Oh, thank
Welcome
God.
back.
How have you guys been?
I mean, No Gimmicks is still running, so I think I did a pretty good job for the most part.
Bro, you did an awesome job. You did a really awesome job.
Galvin, I feel like it's Han Solo and Chewie, and we just got back up aboard the Millennium Falcon, and we just kind of look around, and we're home.
Awesome.
Hey, man, you
Nah,
joined
man,
us at the perfect
thank
time.
you.
Please, the floor is yours.
No.
You're back.
Oh man, no, I was gonna say thank you. Thank you guys for holding it down. I've been paying attention. So there's been some really good shows. I know we have more coming. So man, thank you guys. And for all the MPX addicts, man, thank you for tuning in and making this show as great as it has been while I've been gone. It's been a joy to watch. So I'm almost playing background on the show today. So yeah, let's keep the ball rolling.
Man, we were just talking about the Texas Rumble happening this weekend, and we were starting out with, our predictions, our thoughts, our expectations. And the first match we're covering, Abaddon defends their MPX Women's Championship against Nikki Blackheart. And Kelvin, since you're back, I want you to go first, and we'll kind of just go down the line here.
All right. Well, Nikki Blackheart is someone that I've had my eye on. She's captivated the indie scene, and last time we talked about her, last time I was on the show, I talked about her specifically, and I said enjoy her while you can, because I don't think she's going to be around this long. You know what I mean, on this level. So I do think her versus Abaddon is going to be a if it's not already an eye opener to the powerhouse that she is. I think this match is going to showcase the best of Nikki Blackheart. I like what Abaddon has been doing as MPX Women's Champion, and what they've been doing, just elevating that title just by having it, and the title defenses that they've had. You've seen people that have wrestled them and been on AEW television after the fact, and it just makes the brand of MPX look good. And I know we have the MPX Global Wars tonight, and she's and they're on that card. So I like what Abaddon has been doing. Something in my gut though is telling me it may be Nikki Blackheart's time. It may be. We may be looking at and new. And the reason I say this is because Nikki Blackheart, what she showcased to the MPX addicts at Who Runs the World 3, Alejandra Quintanilla is not a pushover. And what she did to Alejandra in that match, it was just like, man, who do we have on our hands? And I think the match with her and Abaddon, I think we may be looking at a brand new champion. Just the fact that Nikki Hart is coming back around is a huge deal. So I like Abaddon. I love what she's done, but I'm willing to say, come Saturday, we could be looking at and new Nikki Blackheart.
Evan, Matt, who wants to go next?
Look, I agree with you, Kelvin, in that what Nikki did to Alejandro was no joke, and that was as dominant a performance as I had seen. And what I'm going to be very interested to see is, we're used to seeing Nikki Blackheart take on technical wrestlers, powerhouse wrestlers, high flyers. We're used to her taking on all of these almost like, pure professional wrestlers in a sense, I can't recall seeing on her timeline her facing anybody like Abaddon. And Abaddon is probably one of the most unique performers and stars and talents that are out there. And from mind games to just the spook factor that comes with Abaddon, that could end up being all the difference. Is Nikki Blackheart mentally tough enough? She's physically tough enough. Is she mentally tough enough to handle Abaddon?
Evan, your turn.
All right. Well, when I first saw Nikki Blackheart, I was like, holy cow. When she faced Alejandro, that match was over. Like, I was on like, oh, Nikki Blackheart's going to win at that Who Runs the World 2. But since Abaddon is defending her title, she's been beating people like Nixel. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Nixon Newell.
Nixon Newell.
Yes. I'm so sorry.
It's a tongue twister. Say it 3 times fast.
Yeah. But Abaddon beat her though. But you're right about Matt. You're right. You're about the mental health. Like, could Nikki Blackheart beat her? But Abaddon also beats in someone like Riza, Raylan, Shay Carmichael, people that are in their corner, people who are big, people who are athletic. Abaddon she beats them. She beat all 3 and more other coming too. But since I have never seen a woman like Nikki Blackheart, I think Nikki Blackheart might actually win, depending on the referee.
Oh, okay. We're pulling that card now. All right.
That's crazy work. That's crazy work.
Oh man, if you thought that was crazy, Kelvin, wait until you rewatch the first half of this show and listen to some of the craziness that we talked about when it comes down to referees. But I want to piggyback on something that each of you talked about. Nikki Blackheart is a specimen of her own, and like Matt piggybacked on, I want to piggyback on this too. If you follow Nikki Blackheart, you've seen the videos that she's been putting on and putting up as she prepares for this match. She's been in the gym. She is locked in. She is laser focused on this goal. This isn't just a, hey, I'm coming to MPX, I'm on the card at the Texas Rumble. No, she wants to be the MPX Women's Champion. She wants this moment, and we saw it, just a glimpse of it at Who Runs the World 2 in the dominant fashion that she handled Alejandra in. And for those of us that are here on the Texas indie scene and beyond, Alejandra is not somebody that you can just come in, you get them in a match, and boom, it's an easy night for you. For Nikki Blackheart, it was. And I think leading up to all of this, I think Nikki Blackheart is gonna walk out the Texas Rumble and new MPX Women's Champion. And the only reason that I'm on the side of Nikki Blackheart is because of what Kelvin said. I don't think we're gonna have Nikki Blackheart at this level for much longer. So we've got to honor that. We've got to receive that while we can, because once she's gone, she's gone. And again, she's been putting in that work. Nikki Blackheart is ready.
Yeah, I know. Look, I get it. Nikki Blackheart has a thigh muscle the size of Evan. I understand that, believe me. But like, and I love Nikki Blackheart. I really do. She's interacted with me. Like we talk. It's cool. It's great. But I cannot not endorse Abaddon as the MPX Women's Champion. And again, especially as prolific and wonderful as they have been in defending it, man, it's just really, really hard to bet against the Living Dead Girl.
Fair enough. And you know what? Something that we can bet against, something that we can bet on. I want to know the over under for broken doors in this next match, because Matt touched on this earlier. We're going to get the conclusion. We're going to get the final chapter. We're going to get the reckoning, if you will, because Kelvin and I touched on this with Brick back at Christmas last year. We're getting a quote unquote breaking the law match between Brick Savage and Sky De La Cremosa. I'm gonna say 5 broken doors.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the over. I'm gonna go with the over, and also I'm going to question. And I know it's weird to question Sky De La Cremosa's sanity at this point, like that's crazy, but the match, and he goes by the law now, right? If I'm ring announcing him, I am announcing him as the law, Sky De La Cremosa. He's going into a match called Breaking the Law with the World Breaker. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
There you go. Speechless. Every single person here has no answer for that.
None.
And look, whatever Sky's life choices are right now, he believes he's doing the right thing. But the World Breaker understands that there must be purpose, and they must understand that Sky does not really seem to have a whole lot of purpose with this referee group. So I'm super curious to see just the amount of punishment that gets doled out here.
Speaking of referee group, we have our resident ref in the building. First of all, did you draw the card for this match? You don't tell me right now. And second, what are your thoughts on this match?
I'm just excited. Well, really happy for Sky, honestly. Which hopefully he survives that match, honestly. Which if I ever get that match or a refereeing for that, I'll make sure he wins, because I don't care at this point.
Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. Going up against the World Breaker like that. That sounds good.
I'm shocked that you said that with confidence, knowing that Brick has been on record on this show saying that the world needs purpose. And when you never mind, Kelvin, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Before I start, I just want to set the record straight with Brick Savage. I do not endorse anything Evan's saying right now as it relates to one World Breaker Brick Savage.
Smartest man in the room.
Second, I'm going with the under. I'm saying only 3 doors are getting broken.
All 3 at the same time?
Maybe. Maybe. That would be awesome, actually.
Put that on the bingo card somewhere.
Oh my God, the bingo card.
Yes. Yes. I gotta add that. But what I was Evan brings up a good point. The referees. And we know this whole referee debacle started with Brick Savage. And with them in this match against Sky, a person the referee's back, I'm kind of worried for Brick in this match. Will he be outnumbered? And if he is, will anybody be willing to come help him? Or is he out there on his own? This is a real concern for me in this match. Knowing that Sky is being fully backed by the referees, and this is a match where anything goes, it kind of my radar is like, I sense trickery. But if this were anybody else, I would bet against them in this match, especially with the referee involvement as a possibility. But we're talking about the World Breaker, and we're talking about the World Breaker with no rules.
Okay, so I'm
been there.
That you emphasize that. I want to piggyback on something you just touched on, Kelvin, because, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that paid attention to No Gimmicks last week, a really good friend of mine, Handsome Rex, was on the show, and he is with the Nacho Bros podcast, and they cover all things happening with Baracho Pro down in Austin, Texas. Hoping to work with them here very soon, so shout out to Baracho. And I bring that up to say this. For those of you who have been living under a rock, and if you missed their big show that they just had, Blood, Sweat, and Beers 3.
Great show.
Unfortunately, Brick was dethroned as champion to Epidemius Jr. So, if you've never seen a pissed off Brick Savage, you better buckle up for this weekend at the Texas Rumble because, oh boy, I also do not endorse anything that referee say about this particular match, only because I don't want to be in the crosshairs when Brick enters that building. So, yeah, good luck, Sky.
Yeah,
Ref.
I have been in the ring and in the building with a pissed off Brick Savage, and man, that's some PTSD. That's right there. I got a 1,000-yard stare right when I'm thinking about that. So, no, it's gonna be a great treat for the Southwest Community Center and the MPX addicts, old and new, that are going to be in attendance at the Texas Rumble. They're going to see a little bit of everything in this show, from Abaddon being the women's champion to a national star like Nikki Blackheart, all the way to seeing the absolute violence that is the former Texas Chainsaw and the World Breaker.
That is true. And,
Absolutely.
Something else to move into it before we get into the real thick of the Texas Rumble. If you haven't seen Honor Club yet, go ahead and pause this stream, leave. Don't want to spoil anything for you, but it's on the card. It's been announced. Stay tuned because No Gimmicks has the exclusive on that too. We've got an interview with the man who does not like Kelvin at the moment. But, ladies and gentlemen, the MPX champion, JD Griffey, is defending his title against the Rich Homie Swan, Mr. All Night Long, at the Texas Rumble. And I'm going to go first on this one because I love both of these guys. And I'm going to leave it very short and simple. Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen Rich Swan. He is faithful to the Addicts. He's loyal to the Addicts. He loves coming to MPX. And if you missed what he did at TNA Genesis, him and AJ Francis tore the roof off the building to open the show. And then on the other side of the table, you've got Shady JD Griffey, who live on this show told all of you, you're playing checkers while he's playing chess, and it's only a matter of time until he collects another body and adds to his legacy. When it comes down to this match, do I think it's going to blow the roof off? Absolutely. Whatever is left of it after Brick and Sky, anyways. But give me, only because, this is where we're at, six time, six time, six time. Shady, JD Griffey retains. The floor is yours, gentlemen. Anybody else?
I'm gonna eat some crow, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it before he gets on the show.
Oh, no.
If you're watching JD, this is a formal apology to you. Now, granted, whatever happens tomorrow in our conversation, it will go the way it goes. I'm fully prepared, but I will eat some crow because he did sit on this show and he did tell us he was going to do exactly what he did. And the deck was kind of stacked against him for a minute. He was in multi-man matches trying to get his title back, but in a one-on-one situation, he got his title back. I can't hate on that. I cannot hate on the fact that you are now the new MPX champion. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I don't like it because it makes me look like a liar, and I don't like looking like a liar. But I will eat the crow. Congratulations. You are great, JD Griffey.
Ooh.
And I look forward to our conversation tomorrow because I deserve whatever it is you have coming towards me. I deserve it all. I don't like this one bit, but I deserve every last thing that you will say to me tomorrow. And with that, I am going to learn my lesson. Here on No Gimmicks, we have a history of lessons learned. I will not bet against JD Griffey in this match with Rich Swann. However, I reserve the right to be very pleasantly surprised. So my pick is JD Griffey in this match.
All right, so the couple of things that I'm going to say about this match. This is more than just this match. This is more than even just the triple threat that happened a few weeks ago with Cavins and Griffey and Swann. This is more than that. This goes all the way back to Revolver when MPX went up north to Revolver. And Griffey and Swann had an altercation backstage at that show. And so this is a long-seated rivalry, especially as far as independent wrestling is concerned. This goes back at least 6 or 7 weeks, 6, 7. But the worst part about all this is that, like, Rich Swann has been in Rumble season and Rumble mode before, right? Rich Swann was the premier guest last year at the Texas Rumble, and for him to come back and take on JD Griffey, you would think that puts things squarely in Swann's side. But the thing about it is that JD Griffey won that MPX championship on a bigger stage than the MPX championship has ever been on before. He won it on Ring of Honor television in front of way more people than MPX has seen. And that is going to be the difference maker. And I will never vocally go against Rich Swann on this, but it's really, really hard to topple the momentum that JD Griffey is taking into this match.
Yeah, man. I was on your side because I was gonna say JD won at Ring of Honor against Global Wars. That's really impressive to show off all the fans that belt to like 1,000 fans or more, and people are gonna watch Ring of Honor about that. They're gonna say, "Who is JD? Oh, he beat Kavitz," and I was really sad Kavitz lost, but it's JD you're talking about. He has a unique skill, and he did keep his promise of his words. He's gonna win that belt, and he did. And now he's going against Rich Swann, which at this point I'm gonna go for JD because he's done everything, honestly. Like you said, Rich and Swann have revival. They hate each other, but honestly, if JD beat Kavitz, and Kavitz he's a high flyer, and Rich Swann is a high flyer too. So if JD's gonna JD knows the rules and the map how to beat high flyers. So I'm gonna go for JD honestly because he's JD honestly.
No, it's a really good point. The fact
That's a
that
really
Cabins
great
was a
point.
great warm up for going up against Swan.
Yeah, that's a great
Yes.
point.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I want to piggyback on Laura Pulver. Again, shout out to the Pulvers being in the chat tonight with us. Laura in the comments said, if we all put our money together, can we pay off Evan to make Griffey lose?
The man can be bought.
How much we talking?
Everybody's got a price.
We all have.
Hey, I'm not mad at it. I will say though, at MPX Addicts, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, stick around because I believe Kelvin has an announcement to make at the end of this show for
Oh,
the MPX Addicts. So
oh,
save your money, get
oh.
ready. But before we get there, we've got one final stop. It's why we're here. It's the namesake of the show. Our main event, our highlight of the night. Oh God, I sound like Alfred. Jesus. Oh man, I've been around them for too long. Oh, the 30-person Texas Rumble is going to close out the night, and so far, half of the field has been announced, with the other half yet to be named. And we know there's a lot of things going on MPX and Ring of Honor. Last year, TNA got involved. Athena has been doing some things and making some connections. Tony Khan himself came out and said, "Hey, I love Arlington. I love MPX. We could see Tony Khan in the Texas Rumble."
No.
Well,
hey, let's shoot for the moon on this.
All right.
I'm just saying, Matthew Palmer last week on this show said that we're going to have a number 31 participant. It might be him, or according to the bingo card, it could be the Choice Man Andrews. I don't know.
He's been in the gym too.
He has been in the gym grinding.
Y'all are putting way too many expectations out there for me.
I
I'm just.
Texas Rumble season. What are y'all's
It's Texas
takeaways?
Rumble.
What are your thoughts? What are you wanting?
With half the field being announced, I would have preferred to see more of the field announced before I made any sort of decision as to whether I wanted to go in there or not. But there's too many X factors, too many unknowns. That's 15 people that you have no idea who they're going to be coming out. And with the field that's already been announced, which is a lot of your regular MPX stars, that leaves like 15 slots of who knows, and it's quite literally a who knows. Like there's no telling who is going to end up showing to this. We know that Lou Cameron is a first time MPX Texas Rumble person, and now that Cameron has brought the rest of Paradigm aboard, are they going to make the appearances in there? There's gonna be a lot of first time names in this Texas Rumble. And let's not forget also that it was last year at the Texas Rumble that Shady JD Griffey returned to MPX after a very long hiatus. So who else has been on a very long hiatus? They could be making their return too.
It's a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
There are some people we haven't seen in a while
Dave
that could pop up.
Sagan, Michael Schaefer, Tatum Manning, Ryan Remington. Okay, let me stop. We're going a little bit too far. Evan, what are your thoughts and feelings and expectations for the Texas Rumble this year?
It's gonna be. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be really good. Honestly, I don't know who's gonna be there, but like what Matt said, hiatus people might return, but also we might get Ring of Honor people. Ever thought about that? Like Shane Taylor's promotion might come out and help too win the Texas Rumble. Honestly, like I really don't know if he's gonna show up, but all the people who are on the card that been announced on it are very really competitive. Like Devon, he's a tag team champion, and this would be his first Rumble. And Isaiah Legend just became Mr. MPX. He won the tournament, and now he's in it too. Those are two new people that are ready to become something great. and there's people who have won it twice or about to win it twice or anything else like that.
Yeah. Another thing to keep in mind is that last year when Rich Swann was there in that opening triple threat with Phil Shark and Carlos Diaz, Swann ended up going back into the Rumble later that night. So there's a chance that Sky or Brick or Swan, or if JD doesn't come away with the belt, could be JD getting back in there. I'm just saying there's limitless possibilities into who ends up getting into this ring.
That is true. Kelvin, what's your thoughts, man? It's been something we've been talking about for a while now. So what are you feeling?
Man, we got at least 3 former MPX champions already announced in this Rumble. Possibly Cavens is still in the air, right?
Sure. I would bet Cavens comes into that Rumble.
Yep, he's still in the air. So
Right.
the field already is like full of championship material, people that have held gold at some point in MPX. People that I'm looking at that may have a huge year if they win this Rumble, like Kari Jai Wright, who's been announced for this Rumble. I think he's in line. Someone like Brother Kaimi that is just on the cusp of a championship opportunity. And from what him and Surf and Turf did at Global Wars, the spotlight that's put on him, I think there's a lot of momentum coming into this for a lot of guys. But there is still also the unknown. We don't know who all else is coming in there. You don't know if you can get an AEW guy. Speaking of ROH, you may get a main roster AEW guy ending up in this Rumble, and it would totally make sense, right? So there's one person in this Rumble that has been announced. I'm curious to see where they are in this Rumble, because
I have a feeling it's the same person I'm talking. I think if I know you, Calvin, I think we're going to be thinking about the same person. But go ahead.
I'm curious to see where Tom A is in this Rumble. Very curious, because listen, the wave this guy has created since changing his attitude has been nothing short of amazing. And thank you for allowing us to comment on you this way, Tom A, because what you've done since you've made this change, you've been on an incredible run. And I think if he wins this Rumble, listen, I have Tom A on a very high pedestal right now. If he wins this Rumble, there's a very good chance this man is going to be the face of MPX when this is done. There's a very high chance. But I like everything that he's been doing, how he's been promoting himself on social media, how he's been presenting himself in the ring. His matches have been incredible. And listen, if he wins this Texas Rumble, that is a very high mark on a very incredible streak that he's been on. So my eyes are very firmly planted on Tom A right now.
100% agree with you. I said it on X. Tommy Prince was around for a good long while on the indie scene. And the fact that he's already reinvented himself and can still go further, that is what is so impressive about Tom A. And here is my bold prediction. And you guys can go ahead, like hit the record button. Wait, we're already recording it, so that's
we'll clip this one.
Hit the record button. I think Tom A enters at number 1 and goes all the way.
Whoa.
Ooh.
If he runs you're saying if he enters number 1 and wins it at number 1, you won't be able to tell him anything.
Think of the sales of that perfume. That'll go through the roof.
I love it.
But what about Gabe coming in the Rumble? We haven't seen him for a while, honestly.
That's a great call.
Yeah.
Or
and Dalton too.
Yeah.
Or Grimy.
There's so many possibilities with 15 open spots in the Rumble. I can't wait.
Yeah, and it's funny because Kelvin and I, like I said, we've touched on this, we've talked about this, we kind of did a deep dive on this, so stay tuned because we've got some stuff cooking, and we're 2 days away from the Texas Rumble. I was on record saying this about Tom A. when he took on Danny O'Ryan that Danny O'Ryan was going to win. And ever since Tomei defeated Danny O'Ryan, Tomei has humbled me and told me that I am thankful and welcome for his presence and his, acceptance. So I got outed on this show in the MPX Addict space. So we have learned a lesson as well. I have learned a lesson as well, not to go against Tomei. And Tomei is in my top 3 to win the Rumble. My other two being, of course, I gotta support the homie, but the question is, am I going with my guy, the shining true Demo Diamond, or am I going with my guy, Kari Ja Wright? Because I think top 3 picks right now, it's Kari, it's Demo, or it's Tomei. And the wild card being that I could see uprooting and surprising everybody is who takes a spot with the remaining 15. Because a couple of weeks ago, I said I would love to see a surprise appearance from Stephen Wolf. Over the time since I've said that, I've been thinking and racking my brain. It'd be nice to see the gutter snake Izzy James in the Texas Rumble with everything that Izzy has had going on. So
if he's back.
Yeah, I'm like, he's in Japan right now, killing it.
Exactly. And that's why I was like, well, those are just some guys and names that I'm thinking about for the Texas Rumble. And then I'm like, oh, we just had Ring of Honor. And now it's like, okay, we could see a Shane Taylor, a Sean Dean, we could see a Bandito. We could see Tony Nese because the premier athletes have said that they want more too. So the sky is the limit as to who's gonna get a spot with the remaining 15. So the Texas
I want to see Story Denali and Demo Diamond face off in this Rumble.
Yes.
Please. Even if not at the Rumble, save it for Destiny. I can see that highlighting Destiny in a couple of months too. But yeah, I don't know how this is going to shake out. I'm excited. Every single one of these people, especially the ones that have been announced, they all have something to prove. Big J, Luke Cameron, Tommy Becker, Mikey B, Jay DeVille, Isaiah Legend. Like, everybody has something to prove. So I think we're in for a treat. Like, if you're at the Southwest Community Center, if you're seated, standing, whatever you want to do during the Texas Rumble, lock in because it's going to be a treat. And I think this year is going to be something special, very special.
Absolutely. I can't wait. I can't wait to be in the building because I know last year that atmosphere, that environment, it was incredible. And the way that Rumble ended, you could feel the air being sucked out of the room, and it was amazing. I would really want to see something like that again this year. And I know where we are in Fort Worth. That building is going to be something special. So I can't wait. Can't wait to be in the building.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because the final thing, and Kelvin, I'm gonna let you take over and make the announcement that we talked about. You just threw something in there that made me solidify my pick, or at least my top 2. Tomei and Demo Diamond, because Demo is the hometown guy. And he's been on record saying, I can't wait to put on for my city. I'm ready to show up and show out for my city. So I think that little extra bit of motivation and also the fact that JD Griffey is currently the MPX champion is going to help push Demo to a place we haven't seen Demo go.
Okay. I like
Still
that.
Keeping my pick.
Me too. But I like that. I like that. But I know MPX put out an announcement. Tickets are going fast. And let's sweeten the pot up a little bit. For everybody listening, I'll share this as well. For the person that buys the last ticket, that means you are the person that sold it out. You buy the last ticket to the Texas Rumble, No Gimmicks will personally buy you 2 front row tickets to Who Runs the World 3.
What a deal that is.
Courtesy of us.
Man.
That is a deal. So I don't think it's sold out yet. So you still have time. Go get your tickets. If you are the person that buys the last ticket, you will have 2 front row tickets to Who Runs the World 3 on March 7th, sorry, at Southern Junction, courtesy of No Gimmicks Podcast.
I love it. I love it. Good stuff. Let's get
Yeah,
that word out there.
And if you don't know where to go, mpxwrestling.com. Go secure your tickets. They are selling fast. Just a day, maybe 2 days ago, front row completely sold out. Second row, I believe, less than 15. General admission is going fast. And if we know MPX the way that we all know MPX, we've got a couple of days left before the Rumble. I wouldn't be surprised if, we see a flash sale pop up for a few hours. Anything like that from, a nice little the Palmers, the Pruitt, something, because MPX does like to sell out. This is a show that will sell out. The house is going to be packed. Southwest Community Center, Fort Worth, Texas. I hope you guys are ready. Saturday is going to be here.
It's going to be
awesome.
You know
it. And it's going to be an insane night.
We're ready. We are absolutely ready for it.
Absolutely. I don't think we have anything else to say, man. Just get there. Get there and
let's get the word out.
Let's have a good time. Yes. We're going to share this. We're going to repost this. Help us get this out there. Remember, it's like finding the golden ticket, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You get that last ticket, you've got a special treat coming your way, courtesy of No Gimmicks.
Love
it. Absolutely.
Kelvin, I'll let you take us home. You're back, man.
Nah, man, I told you I was playing background, but thank you guys so much, Matt, Evan. Thank you guys for coming through. To the people out there in No Gimmicks Nation, thank you guys for tuning in. Fellas, I will see you all Saturday, and I will be ready to have a lot of fun. So let's get there. It is now Rumble time, but you guys know what it is. Until next time, take care of each other. Enjoy what you're going to enjoy. Peace.
Tommy!
And I know